Hello viewers, welcome to today's session. Myself Rasmita Jaina, lecturer in Computer Science, UN Autonomous College of Science and Technology. In today's section, we will discuss a new topic, that is data structure. Okay. So in this session, we will discuss the definition of the data structure, why we need data structure, what are the advantages of the data structure, and what is the classification of data structure, and what are the different operations over the data structure. Okay. So first we will discuss what is the definition. The name itself specifies the data structure is what. Okay. Data structure means we know that data is a eliminatory value and structure means we are organizing those data. So data structure means we are organizing the data or we are organizing the collecting data. So let us see the definition and the different content of the data structure. Data structure is a way of collecting and organizing data in such a way that we can perform operation on this data in a effective way. That means for accessing the data in a effective way, we need the data structure, and the definition is way of collecting and organizing data. That means by using different data structures, we can organize the data for access, for easy access or for effective way of operations. Okay. And we can take one example. Suppose we have some data about the students. That means we have student name and its ID. Suppose name of the student is Virat and its ID is suppose 26. Okay. And we have to arrange this type of data in a particular order or in a particular format by using different data structure. Okay. So next we will know what is the need of the data structure, what are the complexities arise in the data structure, or what are the difficulties arise in the data structure, what are the complexities are arise for storing the data or for accessing the data or for retrieving the data. That is why we need the data structure. Okay. So as we know, applications are getting complex and the amount of data is increased day by day, and as the data are increased day by day, so we need to arrange the data in a particular order, because for increase the processor speed, that means if we have large volume of data, then in that case the processor may not able to speed for the processing. Okay. So this is the first point why we need data structure. To increase the processor speed, we need the data structure. And second one is your for searching purpose. That means when we are searching a particular element, suppose we have 100 number of data and we are searching a particular data, then in that case we have to search each and every data. But if we arrange the data in a particular order or in a particular structure, then it is easy to us to find the particular data. This is the second point. And third one is a multiple request. Multiple request means one, suppose number of users are requesting for accessing a particular data. In that case, it is difficult for the processor to process that request. Okay. That means if thousands of users are searching the data simultaneously on a web server, then there are the chance that a very large server can be failed during the process. So in order to solve that problem, data structure are used. So data structure are used to organize the data in such a way that all items are required to be searched and required data can be searched instantly. Then next we will know what are the advantages of using the data structure. So the efficiency, reusability, abstractions, these are the advantages of data structure, or by using the data structure we can efficiently access a particular data item. That means suppose we have number of data item in our memory. Suppose we have number of data items in our memory. Suppose we want to search a particular element, and when we are searching a particular element, then we will search all the memory locations. But if we arrange the data in a particular data structure, suppose we have already read about the array data structure in C language. Suppose we are using the array data structure for storing the 100 number of data elements, and when you are using array, suppose we are searching a particular element, then we also search each and every 100 elements of the array. But if we sorted that array, then we may search it for half of the array, or we may search the middle element of the array, then it can be easily find out. Similarly, if we implement the binary search, then we can also easily access, or we can also efficiently access, or we can efficiently search a particular element and we can found that element instantly. Okay. So, this is the advantage, first advantage of using data structure, that is efficiency. And the second advantage is reusability. Reusability means the data structure are reusable. That means once we have implemented a particular data structure, we can use it at any other place. That means we implement once and we can use it every time when we need. And the implementation of data structure can be compiled into libraries which can be used by different clients. That means we will create it once and that can be used by different clients number of times. That is the reusability advantages of data structure. And last one is your abstraction advantage. That means the data structure specified by ADT, that is abstract data type, which provides a level of abstraction. The client program uses the data structure through the interface only and without getting its implementation detail. Okay. So, that is the abstraction advantages of the data structure. So, next we will see the classification of data structure. Actually, the data structure is broadly classified into two categories, that is primitive and non-primitive data structure. Okay. So, primitive data structure means our primitive data type, those we have already read in the C language, that is integer, float, double, these are the primitive data types. And in case of primitive data type, it has one memory location, and in that memory location you have to store only one constant value according to their data types, that is your primitive data structure. And the non-primitive data structure is again classified into two categories, that is linear and non-linear. You can see the classification of the data structure. The data structure is classified into two categories, that is primitive data structure and non-primitive data structure. I have already told about primitive data structure, then comes to non-primitive data structure. In case of non-primitive data structure, it is classified as linear and non-linear. Linear means it stores the data in a sequential order. Non-linear means it is not in sequential order, that means random. Okay, that means we are storing the data randomly in non-linear data structure. And again comes to this linear data structure. In linear data structure is again classified into two categories, that is static and dynamic. Okay, so static means these data structures reserve memory before the program execution start, that means at the time of compilation. Dynamic means this data structure reserve memory at the time of program execution. At this static data structure, we have one linear data structure, that is array, that we already know about array in C programming language. Then comes to dynamic data structure. The dynamic data structure is again classified into three categories, that is linked list, stack and queue. Okay, and we will briefly discuss about this in later time. And again the linked list can further classified into three categories, that is single, double and circular. Okay. Then comes to non-linear data structure. As I already told about that, this is not sequential, that means this is random data access. That means in a non-linear data structure, we will access the data randomly, and this is classified into two categories, that is tree and graph. Let us see the definition and the pictorial representation of the following non-primitive data structure. So, first we will discuss the linear data structure. Linear, I already told about that. A data structure is called linear if all of its elements are arranged in a linear order. Linear order means sequential order. That means we arrange the element of the data structure in a sequential order. In this data structure, in linear data structure, the elements are stored in a non-hierarchical way. That means there is no hierarchical concept, and where each element has successor and predecessor except the first and last element. That means each element has a successor and predecessor in case of linear data structure, but the first element does not have any predecessor and the last element does not have any successor. That is the concept of linear data structure. Next we will discuss about the type of linear data structure. We have already seen the classification of the linear data structure. So first we will discuss the first one of the linear data structure, that is the static type of the linear data structure, that is array. Okay. An array is a collection of similar type of data items. At the time of primitive and non-primitive, I have already told about that primitive data element has a single storage location in memory and it will store only one constant of its type. But in case of non-primitive, it can store more than one data items. So array is a collection of similar types of data item. That means it can store more than one items, and each data item is called as an element of array. And the data type of element may be a valid data type like your any primitive data type, that is character, integer, float and double. And each and every array can be represented or can be identified through their unique index number, that is known as the array index or array subscript. Okay. The array can be one dimensional, two dimensional or multi-dimensional. That means this is the classification of array. Array may be one dimensional, two dimensional or multi-dimensional. You can see this is the representation of array, that is suppose A is an array. These are the index value, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. I must say here array index by default starts from 0 and ends at size minus 1. Let us see how the array are represented in memory. This is the memory representation of array. It means here you can see this is a integer array of size 5 and these are the location of the array, that is ARR be the name of the array, 0 is the index number. Similarly ARR be the name of the array, the 1 index, 2 index, 3 index, 4 index. I already told about the array starts from 0 index and ends at size minus 1. You can see here the size of the array is 5 and it ends at size minus 1, that means 4. Okay. And these are the address of the array, and array is the contiguous memory location in memory, and the first address or the starting address of the array is known as the base address. So this is the array representation in memory. Okay. The next linear data structure is linked list. Okay. Linked list is a linear data structure which is used to maintain a list in the memory, and it can be seen as the collection of nodes stored at non-contiguous memory. Array is contiguous memory and this is non-contiguous memory, and in linked list we are storing the data, or linked list is used to maintain a list in the memory, and it can be seen as the collection of node. That means here in linked list we are storing the data in a node, and I must say here each node has two parts. One is the data part and another one is your address part. Okay. And the data part is used to store the data element and the address part is used to store the address to the next node. Let us see the memory representation of the linked list. You can see this is the memory representation. This is a dynamic linear data structure. That means at the time of program execution it will reserve memory for the nodes. This is one node. You can see this node has two parts. One is your data part and one is your link part. Data part used to store the data and link part used to store the address for the next node. Okay. And this is the header node. The first node is the header node. Okay. And this is the end of the list. This is one example of the linked list, or you can say this is the single linked list, and we will discuss different types of linked list in later videos. Okay. So next we will see the next linear data structures, that is stack and queue. Stack is a linear list in which insertion and deletions are allowed only at one end. That means in stack we will insert and delete in one end, that is called as the top of the stack. That means it follows the methodology that is last in first out. See the representation, memory representation or data structure of the stack. This is the data structure of the stack. You can see here, this is the way we input the data into the stack. This operation is called as the push, and this is the way we are retrieving the element from the stack. You can see at only one end we are inserting and deleting, and this is known as the top of the stack. This is known as the top of the stack, and for inserting we will call that push operation, and for retrieving or that is called as the pop operation in stack. Okay. Then comes to queue. Okay. In queue it is also a linear list, and it is a dynamic linear list in which element can be inserted only at one end called rear of the queue and deleted only at the other end, that is called front of the queue, and it follows the first in first out methodology for storing the data element. Let us see how the data structure is represented. In queue you can see here we are inserting. The insertion process is going on this end and the deletion process is going on this end. Okay. That means we are inserting in one end and we are deleting in other end. You can see in the stack we are inserting at one end and at the same end we are deleting, and it follows the last in first out, whereas queue follows the first in first out methodology. That means the element which is enter first into the queue, that element must delete first from the queue. So this is the concept about the linear data structure, that is array, stack, linked list and queue. Next we will see what are the different non-linear data structures are there. So non-linear data structure means the data structure does not form a sequence. I already told about that. This is not follow any sequential store of data. It will follow the random access of data. Each item or element is connected with two or more other items in non-linear arrangement, and the data elements are not arranged in sequential structure. And these are the classification. Here I will give I was give only two non-linear classification of the data structure, that is tree and graphs. And one point I told in linear data structure that they doesn't follow any hierarchical concept, but in tree data structure it will follow a hierarchical concept. The trees are multi-level data structure with a hierarchical relationship among its element known as node, and the bottom most of the node in the hierarchy is called as the leaf node, and the topmost of the node is known as the root node. And in tree there is a parent and child relationship among the nodes. Okay. And then comes to graphs. So graphs can be defined as the pictorial representation of the set of elements, that is called as the vertices, and these vertices are connected through the links, and these links are called as the edges of the graphs. Okay. And a graph is different from tree in the sense that a graph can be cycle where a tree cannot be, while a tree cannot have the one. Okay. So this is all about the classification of linear and non-linear data structure. Okay. So next we will see what are the different operations are going on the data structure. The simple operations that we already work on the array, that is traversing, sorting, merging, searching. So these are the some operations we may execute over the data structure. Okay. Let us see the operations on data structure. So first we will know the traversing operations. Traversing means we have to visit each and every element of the data structure. Okay. Every data structure contains the set of data elements, and traversing is the data structure means visiting each element of the data structure in order to perform some specific operations like searching, sorting. So for these operations we may traverse the whole data structure. That means suppose we want to sort a element in array, then we must traverse from start to last element of the array. That is the traversing. Or basically traversing means visiting each element of the data structure. Okay. Then next comes to insertion. Insertion means this is the operation. We want to insert a new element or you want to insert a new node into the linear or non-linear data structure. So insertion can be defined as the process of adding the elements to the data structure at any location, and if the size of the data structure is n, then we can only insert n minus 1 element into it. Okay. Then similarly comes to deletion. Deletion means when the user want to remove one element from the data structure, then in that case the user may execute the deletion operation. The process of removing an element from the data structure is called as the deletion, and we can delete an element from the data structure at any random location. That means from any location the user want to delete, the user can. If we try to delete an element from an empty data structure, then it is underflow occur. That means there may be an error, that is underflow. Okay. Then is the next operations of the data structures are sorting. Sorting means when we are search for a particular data element in a particular data structure, and we will execute the sorting process. The process to finding the location of an element within the data structure is called as the sorting, and there are number of sorting algorithms are there. We will discuss this algorithm in later, that is sorting, linear search, binary search, and we will discuss this sorting in our next tutorials. Next comes to sorting. Sorting, it is the process of arranging the data structure in a specific order. That means when the user want to sort the element in ascending order or in descending order, then in that case the user must perform the sorting operation. This is the process of arranging the data element in a particular order, that is in ascending or descending order. For sorting, we have number of sorting algorithms in data structure, that is you may use insertion, selection, bubble sort, quick sort. These are the different sorting algorithms that we discuss later in this tutorial. Next comes to merging. Merging means when the user want to merge two lists or user want to merge the two similar type of data structure, then in that time the user must execute a merging operation. When two lists, that is suppose list A and list B of size m and n respectively of similar type elements are joined to produce the third list, that is C, of size m plus n, then the process is called as merging. That means we have list A and list B of size m and n, and when we merge these two A and B, we will store this in another data structure of same type, that is suppose list C, and the size of the list C became m plus 1, that is the size of A and the size of B. Okay, and that process is called as merging. So this is all about the introductory part of the data structure, and we will briefly discuss the each and every data structure in our next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.